So what's the most successful nutrition strategy that you could possibly do? Well, the main idea behind this video is to get you to understand that it has to be repeatable. If you, pun intended, bite off more than you can chew, it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to sustain. The people who make giant changes in their diet and they completely go from eating like crap to eating like healthy in one day is because they had enough leverage in their life. They had enough motivation because they had some health problem. They had something like a heart attack. They had something scaring the crap out of them, or they were just completely fed up with their life and they took massive action towards something. But if that's not you, if you're someone who is just looking to get a little bit more fit or looking to lose a little bit of weight or what have you, you have to meet yourself where you are and you have to be able to repeat that strategy day in and day out for the rest of your life. So, like for example, some of my clients, they say their desire is to lose weight, but yet they're not willing to do the most simple thing to even just look at what they're eating. And what I normally tell people is I just want you to start writing down everything that you eat. Use a calorie counter and just start to track it. Don't even try to hit a calorie goal. Just track your calories. If they're not willing to do that, do you really think that they're going to be willing to completely change everything they eat? Stop eating cookies and candies and pies and then start eating fruits and vegetables and grass-fed beef and things like that. It's not going to happen. So you have to meet yourself where you're at. And once you can start taking yourself from taking one stage, hey, maybe it's not tracking my calories, but it's replacing cookies in the evening with a salad for dinner and, one meal at a time. Maybe it's starting to do some fasting where I'm going to push my eating window from, all day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to start pushing it back to 10 or 11 or even 12 o'clock. And I start to eat in a more constricted window. And I don't change anything that I eat, but I eat in a constricted window. There's so many different strategies that you could do, but it has to be something that you're going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the next 6 months, 10 months, 6 years. What could you repeat? So when I talk to people and I talk about nutrition strategies, I always like to get them aware of what they eat. So that's why I like to get them to track what they eat, to just look at what you eat, because you're going to start to find things that are the culprits. And then we can start to uncover those things. If you don't know, you don't know. I normally like to make the analogy with people of buying a house. If I say I want to lose weight and I don't know how much I'm eating, it's like going to someone and saying, hey, I want to buy $1 million house. And they go, okay, well, how much are you willing to put down? How much money do you have in savings? And you say, I don't know. And you go, well, you must be balling then. You must have a lot of income every single year. What's your income? And you go, I don't know. Well, if you don't know how much you make, you don't know how much you have in savings, how do you know you can afford $1 million home? How do you know you're losing weight? How do you I think I'm losing weight. Well, I'm trying to lose weight, but you don't know how much you're consuming. You're not doing anything different nutritionally, or you think you're doing something nutritionally different, but are you? So those things, getting to as much clarity as possible is what I try to do. Just look at it. Just look at your food. Then we can start making changes. What will you do? What will you exchange in a food that you'll do for the rest of your life? Well, I can't give up my cookies and milk in the evening. Okay, well, what about your breakfast? What do we eat there? And then we start making those. So it's got to be something that you'll do, because if you won't do it, you might do it for a short period of time. And you see a lot of this, the yo-yo diet, right? You go down in weight and then you gain it all back, or maybe even gain back a little bit more. We talked about metabolic efficiency before on this, and might want to look at that video to understand why those things happen. But the main idea is, again, if you can't sustain it, it's not going to be successful. So when I say successful, it depends on you, where you're at, what you're willing to do, and what you're willing to repeat. And so ask yourself those questions. What am I willing to do today that I'd be willing to do tomorrow and the next day and a year from now? Not just something that I'm going to do to lose this weight. What can I repeat? Because if you have a short-term strategy and you lose weight and that goes away, you're not going to be able to, or maybe you might be able to, sustain it but usually the strategy that got you the weight gain is going to be the strategy that's going to gain that weight back again. So if something doesn't change, you're just going to repeat the same process over and over again. So that's why I say, what are you willing to do today that you're going to be willing to do tomorrow and the next day and so on. So find whatever that is. And maybe that's just eating in a calorie deficit. That's the main idea behind eating in a restricted calorie window like fasting. That's the main idea behind diets that switch you from eating, certain types of carbohydrates, like, hey, we're going to get rid of, the starchy ones and rice and grains, and we're going to just eat fruits and vegetables and things. It's like, it's all about trying to lower your calories, but what strategy works the best for you because you can sustain it? What makes the most sense for you? You can still lose weight and eat McDonald's every day, but it's a lot harder, especially as you do it long term, because those foods give you more cravings and it's easier for you to eat. There's no nutrition in those foods. So you're going to want more of them because your body's really, it's looking for calories. It needs a certain amount, but it's really looking for those vitamins and minerals. So like my nutritionist, what does she do? She doesn't get you tracking calories. Her strategy is, I'm going to start having you eat certain foods or take certain supplements. You're going to start feeling better, and then we'll be able to get into better overall mind-body connection. Then we start making some of these changes, okay? So you get more nutrition out of your life, you're gonna feel better, and then we can start making better decisions. Whereas if you feel like crap, it's gonna be a lot harder. So I love her strategy in that. And I mean, she's so specific because she goes after the exact person. With me, I don't have a nutrition degree, so I can't tell someone exactly what they could eat because I don't have that information. I don't have the diagnostic tools that she does to be able to figure out what you're deficient in and so on. So for me, I'm more like a shotgun, all right? I just say, what's the big strategy that we can do? And then start chipping away at little things here and there. With someone more specific, like a health professional, they're going to be able to make specific changes, and like a scalpel, get in there and get whatever fits for you. But I would say in general, the most successful strategy, who goes to see a nutritionist? Someone who's fed up, someone who knows they need help. They're willing to pay money for someone to tell them, no, you're not going to eat cookies and cakes anymore. You're going to eat eggs and tomatoes or whatever it is, right? So for you, what are you willing to do? And if you're just willing to watch a video on YouTube, then maybe start just writing down your food. Just see what you eat. Maybe you might get fed up looking at all the food that you eat, and then maybe that might provide you with some motivation to then start changing. So there's different strategies for everyone. What's the one that's going to stick for you, not just today, not just tomorrow, but so on for years and years? What could you repeat? That's going to be the most successful thing because it's a lifestyle change at the end of the day. That's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow.